Daniel Hibberd on Loose Lines. I generally give you a 1 minute countdown, mate. We are 40 minutes late, but that was to be expected. We're probably 10 minutes late from going to air. If you had turned on your audio, we would have even been better than that, mate.
Objection. Let's go. I'll protest. I'll chuck in a protest. Let's see if we can get this upheld. Was not my fault, Your Honour.
No, and we're all good. We've got some people watching. We've got Shelley Wicks already, 3 other people. So please get involved in the conversations here tonight. We haven't done the show for a little while. Been trying to, just been a little bit tricky with a bit of a workload and a few other things on, but we weren't going to miss today. I've been at Maryborough Harness Racing Club all day with Toby McKinnon and Tim O'Connor doing Trots Vision. So I just decided that we're still going to keep this show rolling because this is a harness racing show for the people and let the people drive the show. Louise Pangrazio is watching, and congratulations to Neville Pangrazio today. Did not get a winner, but did the right thing. Stopped, pulled over, and gave Greg Lewis a hand. His horse, his car broke down, so he pulled over, gave Greg Lewis a pickup. And they got the chockies. Even let them borrow the sulky. So I think about harness racing, mate, it's full of some really, really good people, and well done Neville Pangrazio for picking them up and taking them. I think that is absolutely first class. And what's been a great day of racing, Daniel?
It's a pretty important day when you think about it. The race is on at Maryborough for Humboldt-Tonian Day. I mean, it's you're not dealing with the absolute elite horses, Vic-bred horses that we've got, but it's important that these horses get the opportunity to race for the money that they do, and the opportunity to win their bonus as well. It's a very important day on the calendar, and one that shouldn't be sneezed at. So everyone that's gone to the races today and one has been able to pocket some good money, which I'm sure will get reinvested into the industry, and that's very, very important.
Lee Sutton's watching us, and it's great to see Lee Sutton's young fellas taking some small steps to taking on this big, brave world. So well done you, Lee. Hopefully things keep going the way they are going. We've got plenty to talk about. There is absolutely no run sheet. There's no chance of a run sheet at all. So this could go here, there, or everywhere. We've got a heap of people watching, and please feel free to send us a question, say hello, get involved. There's an Inter-Dominion on. There's quite a few things on at the minute, right around in harness racing. Some good racing on the weekend, and we will chat for most of those. Mate, before we came on air, once you fixed up your audio issue, you're waxing on lyrically about your comeback to the cricket ranks on the weekend. How did that go, mate?
Well, I was quite worried because I hadn't touched a bat for 10 months. And I'd done no training. So I hadn't had a hit. I hadn't done anything for 10 months. I rocked up for the first game of my new club, playing out at Katandra. I didn't know anybody on the team. The guy that got me involved wasn't actually playing, so I didn't know anyone on the team. We won the toss, and we batted, and the skipper comes over to me and says, "Where do you normally bat?" And I said, "Well, I normally bat 1, but I said, I haven't touched the bat in that long. I don't think it's fair that I go and open." And he said, "Well, what about 3? I'm thinking, well, what's the difference? But anyway, I ended up coming in at 4. And, I surprisingly didn't die, which was great. Made 37, got out to an absolute ripping delivery from a young leg spinner. So I was pretty sore Sunday, but I'm actually feeling pretty good now. So I might go and do it again this week too.
You're keen? It's one of those games I've never been really keen on is cricket. Lee Sutton says there, cheers too. So well done you, Lee. Anytime you want. Daniel, if you see any comments that I missed, because I had a bad habit of that last week. I don't know last time we were on live. I don't know exactly what happened there, but anyway, we had plenty going on. It's one of those unusual games, cricket. I never get it at all. Standing out in the middle of a pitch, getting sunburnt, just doesn't seem.
I did get that. I did actually put a heap of sunscreen on, but my complexion, it doesn't help. I only have 2 shades, and one of them's not brown.
Yeah, you got a lot in common with the mighty Mick Bellman, that fairer skin and the wrong colour, James Herbertson, and a few of those, few of the others. Did you tune in today? We'll start off with today, mate. Did you tune into any of the stuff today? Well, I must say, well done to HBV. I've done a lot of work with them over the journey, and I think what they've been able to develop this day into is getting bigger and bigger every year.
Yeah, I sort of was at work today, but I did sort of keep an eye on most of the results throughout the day, and particularly the like the Facebook, the photos and so forth. Like it was really good to see the coverage in that form with the photos of the horses and outlining the owners and that sort of thing. Like it was a really well presented, snapshots of the results, and really good to see that all those horses get the opportunity to race for 10 grand. They're probably, some of them probably aren't going to run around for that sort of money, every day of the week. But again in their careers, if they're just an average horse, but they get the opportunity to win that bonus, and it's big money. Like it's we're now getting into the Vic Bred series with the heats coming up shortly and the semi-finals and finals. But this day's just as important as those ones for those lower end horses. And it's good to see 12 winners, 12 bonuses go off, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of happy connections tonight.
Oh yeah, definitely. There was a lot of very happy connections. I'll tell you the one thing I like about it: spread for a lot of people. There's some very, very good moments. I'm going to have to try and get it up so as I don't forget everyone. I do know Sunoco's son won, a son of use to me. It was very, very impressive. But Lee Graham, a man that I know you know through the Mitch side bottom part, early crow. They were 100 out. He had both arms in the air. He was home. And if you actually watch a replay of the race, he was a long way off home. We thought he's in all sorts of trouble. Mickey Bellman said, did you see him? Do you know, you go the early crow, you've got to be a bit subtle about it sometimes. Bright red chop, bright red hat, and he's got both the arms in the air. I thought he's done it, but no, it was a good little win. The brother handled it with aplomb. He did a very, very good job, I must say.
Yes, that's that early crow. I've seen it backfire big time, and I've been I get warned a lot not to do it with my calling, and I will say that I am very, very wary when something sort of brews in the vocal cords to say something is HOME. Very quickly pull it back because more often than not it goes pear shaped very quickly. So. He got one home today, but might want to be a bit careful next time.
I think so. I think he'd be getting a dressing down from the brother too, because it definitely wasn't ideal. First race, I've got them all up now. Will Patrick for Shane Mannix, more commonly known as Michael Mannix. Louise Pangrazio, I said there before, they are related. I think on the Dams side, I think is how it works, but they are definitely related. Great to see them. Damien Wilson got the cash with Will Patrick. Sunoco's son, as I said, was a good win there in the second. Colt by use to me, good trot. There were some good trot races actually today. Buddy Wrangler, there's another one. Amy Crosland, she did not go the early crow. I can promise you she wasn't breathing, but as soon as it stood on the line, she was on the chairs halfway up the bank at Maryborough. She stood up and she had a double salute as well. She was very, very happy. It meant a lot to her. She did a good job because that horse was first up from a long spell, no trials, and a good win, and then had to survive a protest as well.
Had everything going on. That was one race that I did actually see the finish of, and Johnny Hallam and Chris Albert's text goes bang. He's a bit wayward at times, and it sort of doesn't help his chances of winning a race. But Bundy Wrangler got up underneath it and was able to shoot through. So very impressive performance, particularly when no public trials. So they must have done a fair bit of work at home to get it ready for that race. And it was certainly obviously in the market. It paid $6, so there's certainly some specking for it as well. Horse
you might have been out of back with Sugo Alto is what I'll go with because of the Alto part. That's where I'll give you that one. To Be Gold, Ronnie Shepherd at Heathcote was a good win. Taylor French. It's a horse that's been promising a lot. Hasn't delivered, but it delivered in spades today, I must say. Sassiness, Keith Koch, and there's another horse that's been trialling the place down both at Shepherd and at Bendigo. Can run some really good trials. Hasn't done it on the racetrack, but got the chockies there for connections. Kiora Beauty, Ken Tippett was a really good story about the lady that Judah Ferry, who owns that horse, stayed there, feeds it, comes every day and helps him feed it, loves it, has 3 horses and absolutely loves it, which is really, really good. Puzzle Piece, actually from the nutrient point of view, this horse went through the nutrient ready to run sale last year and actually got the chocky. So he's the second or third, might be the third winner out of that actual series, so sales series. So they only sold, I think, 12, which was really key. So, people get a bit nervous about these ready to runs, but they do work very well, good. James Warnock from Lara, a guy that I know I have had a little bit to do with, got the cash with I'm All Right Jack. Walkabout Cascade, as I said, Greg Lewis and Brad Chisholm combined. Thunderwing for Andy Gaff. Kate Gaff was a great interview. Toby McKinnon got the... are you still there, Daniel?
Yeah,
I reckon you're...
not moving.
No, you're not
here.
You're not moving, but you're there, so it'll come good in a second. I reckon I know what's going on, and I think I can fix it for us, Daniel. Yep, you're back now. Yep, spot on. I got it in one. I will flick this thing over. My phone actually was on your Wi-Fi. That's how technical things can be here, mate. I have to juggle things around very, very closely. Hortycam got the right chockies in the last for Sophia Arvidsson, who is a great story going into the Inter-Dominion, getting a drive. She's only been driving for a bit over 2.5 years, and some people would drive a lifetime and not get to drive in one. Yeah,
it's a big achievement. It's going to be probably her crowning achievement so far in her career. I think she may have driven. She's driven in a Vic-bred final, or I'm not sure whether they had one in that last year or not, but she's certainly driven some nice horses of late, and that's a real opportunity in that Inter-Dominion on Saturday night. Just looking through those results, when you look through the trainers, aside from Andy and probably just to a lesser extent Matthew Craven, who you would class as two professional trainers, the other 10 races on the card are all trained by, well, some of them might be doing it on a full-time level, but they're all essentially hobbyists.
Yep.
Which is great to see. It's not like they're, it's not like an Emma Stewart Stables come in and won all the races or anything like that, which we might expect with the top end horses. It really was for the lower class horses, or the ones that haven't been able to win that race in their career already, and a lot of them are raced by hobbyists, and it's good to see that those people have been able to share in the spoils today.
Yeah, absolutely. Ross Graham may be the other exception to that, or Lee Graham, but as well.
Yeah.
You say there, like Dennis McIntyre, I think he works 2 horses, keeps them on himself. James Warnock has 4, I believe, in work. They're their numbers all told. Amy Crosland, I think James Herbertson said 2 horses in work. So it's just great that they're able to, and $14,000 they go home with from today with the bonuses and everything else, which is just, it's just absolutely sensational. That part is as well, going forward. So no, I really appreciate it. I keep writing little notes to myself if you're wondering what I do and the things that I can remember. I give a big shout out to my beautiful daughter too, who set up the Christmas tree, because we've got to get in the Christmas spirit. I'm going to try and do some more things going forward, but it is Christmas coming up, and it's a fun time of year, isn't it?
It is crazy how quickly it's come around, and certainly after my last 12 months, it doesn't feel like Christmas, I must say. I
was going to start off with a segue. I was going to say that's the shortest summer I've ever experienced, because I got a full-on jacket and it is freezing. And Maryborough today, it was horrendous how cold it was.
It's very windy here in Mooroopna at the moment. It's clear, but it's very fresh and windy.
Yeah, it is indeed. Cam Bray, he's actually there as well. Peter Ramiro is watching. Thank you very much, Pete, and please get involved with any of the questions and the likes going forward. Good day at Gumbow last week for their Gumbow Cup. We didn't get to promote them. They're one of the smaller clubs. They don't get a lot of fanfare and the likes, but well done to them. They had a good crowd and some good racing. And Daniel, if you want to go to the fly, if you want to go to the fly, most populated fly spot in Australia, visit Gumbow. Yeah. I can tell you, I did an interview with Blake Jones, and he actually hit the microphone, I reckon, 10 times. He was that angry with them. It was just revolting.
I did see a tweet of his that mentioned that they were rampant there on Sunday, which certainly doesn't surprise me. It's a good play. It's a beautiful big track to race at. It's really open spaces, but the flies that can certainly ruin a good day at Gumbow.
I was put under a tree. It was about the only shade I had. Lockie McIntosh, his calling box is something deaf. But they had they had gumboot competitions, throwing competitions, they had water slides, they had a lot of stuff going on, and well done to them. I might just give them a little clip because 2:00, people get hungry after 2:00, and there wasn't any food available after the 2:00, which was not ideal for a bloke that talks a lot, that just needs a bit of energy from time to time, I must say. So yeah, it did catch me out a little bit, that part, I will say. So yeah, but anyway.
I'm interested to hear if there's any drivers and that out there with regards to Gumbau, what it's like to race on it when you're coming off tracks that have all got the big camber, all the velodrome style that we've got at the moment. You go back to a track like Gumbau that's 1,300 metres and it's basically dead flat around the corners. I'm interested to see what they had. Is it foreign to them sort of racing around that track because of the flatness, and do you have to change your tactics, particularly when you're back in the field? Because I know if you're coming 3 and 4 deep on any other track, you sort of got that camber to give you a bit of a slingshot, but I'm pretty sure that doesn't exist at a place like Gumbau.
Now, one of the drivers I did an interview with, and it's a rough gun, might have been Jack Law. I'm just trying to look the horse up. They were suitably impressed with how the horse got around the track. Taylor French had a double for the day. Donna Castles, was great to see Donna getting a win, and props, unbelievable. But I will get it. The stubby holders are out and available. Oh, it might have been Magic Mike, I think. That's a rough going horse and can do a little bit wrong. Yeah, it was Magic Mike was the horse. Handled the track beautifully. Did not have a worry in the world. So yeah, it was. I
mean, it's not a tight track. It's very, very big, but just because of those, the flatness around the turns with no camber on it at all, it's just interested to see, and particularly with the race carts that they've got these days as well. Whether it makes it a difficult, more challenging getting around those corners in those carts. I'm just interested to see if there's any sort of feedback on that sort of thing.
The other thing that is a bit of a trick to that track, 273 metre straights, but the run to the winning post halfway up the straight. It's about 110 metre run to the winning post. I think it's every bit as short as Bort, if not shorter. So yeah, really, really key going forward. But it is a good. I've got Debbie Hibberd watching. Wow. I met Mum at the at the 50th the other night. So yeah,
back up.
She must have been very young when she had you. That's all I can say for Mum. So don't you worry about that. So. Oh, she's even got the Evening Sun. I've come up with that one as well. So that part is good. I'm going to give a bit of a shout out. One of the things that has happened during the week that a lot of people aren't aware of, but unfortunately for Ellen Tormio, her stables burnt down on Monday morning. She had an electrical fault, and luckily she got back in time. All the horses are safe. Her car and float was safe. All the horses were safe, and she's safe. But unfortunately, she lost the stables and all the gear and sundry as well. So horses, I think, had rugs on them. That's it. Other than that, everything's gone. So a bit of a sad story there, and happened the wee hours of Monday morning. So yeah, no good at all for Al.
No, it's stuff like that doesn't. It's very unfortunate, and particularly when there's nothing you can really do with it, nothing you can do to prevent it. It's just one of those things that happens, and the good positive, I guess, is that none of the horses were. She didn't lose any of the horses. Gear and that can sort of be replaced, but the horses are a bit harder to do that. Absolutely.
One of the regulars that watches our show chimes in quite regularly with smart comments and sometimes very purposeful comments. Alex Hurley had a winner during the week with Tiara Stride, and I must say well done to her. An astute little boy. Actually, it's another one from the Nutrient Sales, because they bought that through the Winter Woolies as a broodmare and racehorse proposition. So I must say well done to her too, because they got the actually got the bonus the other day at I'm in trouble. I'm going to say Kilmore.
I'm trying to have a look for you, but yeah,
I saw it win, And it was
Yeah, I know it did.
It was Kilmore. No, it was definitely Kilmore. And yep, she's chimed in with the woohoo. Don't worry, she'll get the answer to us very, very shortly. But well done, Alex. And I know it means a lot to you when you can.
Kilmore on Thursday night. Oh, that's I should remember because I was amazed that meeting actually went ahead.
Didn't that have everything?
Well, we had trials at Shep, and we were looking out the back door of the judges' box there, thinking, well, it's just going to absolutely destroy us. And why are we standing on a metal box when there's lightning around? It was just, it wasn't pretty, but it actually all sort of went around to the north of us, the storm that sort of hit the GV. But yeah, that was insane. Like the amount of, they had rain, they had wind, they had lightning. Then how the hell can you get fog? How could you get fog after that? It made literally no sense whatsoever, the weather they got down there.
And like sometimes people put, a little bit of sugar on top just to sweeten things up. And, Luke Humphries, I've been told by 3 people, they said he didn't do it justice about how quickly it rolled in. They said it was just like a big sheet. It just comes straight across and it was just instantly there.
And there's an interesting one too as well with the weather coming in. I'd actually just arrived at the trials at Shep, and there was a dog race on at Warrigal, and Kyle Galley was calling the race, and they'd gone in. It was a 460 metre race, so it takes about 25 seconds. And they were loading in the boxes, and he said, "Oh, the weather's really turning. It's starting to blow in here." The dogs hadn't crossed the line, and his box was full of dust. It blew in that quick. He was choking on the dust trying to call the race, trying to call the finish of the race. The dogs were dead set walking up the straight because they were going straight into a headwind. And then, of course, I think they had to delay the meeting for about an hour and a half before they got the last couple of races in. But that's how quick the weather changed down there as well. So it was really nuts on Thursday.
And that's Warrigal, which, a lot of people know the Warrigal training track and all the rest. Like green. It's green everywhere. So the dust... It can't come off.
It was all the track surface was just. I think it was the harness track surface that actually blew into the box. It was just, it was apparently it was just crazy. And if you get to watch the race, and it's quite weird because it's sort of 6 o'clock at night, so it's still fairly light. But the green light on the box when they turned it on, it dead set looked like it was night time, and when they were running up the straight, it was pitch black virtually. Crazy. Yeah,
I was thinking then. I was wondering where you thought all the dust came from, but that does make sense. So we've got a couple of people watching on YouTube too. So please, if you always want to get involved, please feel free to get involved as well. We want people to be able to get involved and enjoy joining the conversation. We've got Michelle Manning. She's on board. She's a new listener as well. So anyone else could be there. Alex Early said she thought it might have been called off 3 times. Marie was trying to get our horse. We had our horse in the last, and she's trying to get ready and think, do I head off or don't I head off? And in the end, and I'll tell you what, hats off to everyone. They did a great job because I think the last race was 20 minutes late from the advertised start time. It was just an amazing effort of what, we sell a participant short, but stewards, track officials, track attendants, the whole box and dice. They did a great job to get it all over, and I'm sure Alex Early is very, very happy that they did. She's extremely happy about that.
I would think so.
A bit remiss of me, mate. How did the calling of the Melbourne Cup go?
I suppose it's hard to.
We haven't spoke about it.
No, we haven't. Look, it was an amazing experience. It was an amazing night. Met a heap of different people. I guess you can call them celebrities. It was quite a surreal experience throughout the night. We had a good chat I took my old man.
I was going to ask.
He, who I think felt like he was a kid in a candy shop, and he was plonked on a table with guys that were earning probably 15 times more money than he does in a year, and had a great time talking to them. He had Peter Moody on his table. We had a good chat to Peter when we first arrived, and then through the course of the night, I had the Melbourne Storm fullback Ryan Pappenhausen came up into the commentary box and enjoyed a race up there while I called it, and got a photo with him. And he's very much into the greyhound racing, and it was a really exciting night. And the race itself was quite unbelievable race to watch and to call, and all 12 races actually on the night were really good. And it was certainly a moment I won't forget for a very, very long time.
No, you won't. Dad won't either. As I said, I went to your 50th birthday and
40th. 40th.
Dad was telling me about the day and how big it was, and he enjoyed every part of it. He had a lot of fun there, so it was which is really, really good. Peter Ramiro says there, beautiful Kilmore I was in the 1st and the 7th and wasn't real sure whether it was going to go ahead, but they got through, and I think that's always key. No one wants to be there. But if you're there, you don't want to go home without doing anything either. So I think that part's also very, very, very good. How are the greyhounds? Where are we calling next at the greyhounds?
Bendigo on Friday. So off to do it's Friday night actually, which is
it's a double header.
The double header with the trot. So a good Christmas feel to that. So it'll be a good big night there at Lord's Raceway on Friday. Then Bendigo again the following Wednesday, then Cobram on trots on the Friday, which will be big day because that's first meeting back with crowds at Cobram, and I'm pretty right in saying that Adam is the secretary is organising a lot of local business houses to have their Christmas party functions out there, so it should be. With a bit of luck, a really big day out there on Friday the 17th. And then I get to grace the Sunraysia on the 20th. I'm heading up to Mildura to call the trots up there on Monday the 20th. So taking over from Luke for only a week, but we'll give it a crack up there on a Monday night.
They're racing there tonight. We haven't spoken about any of the races, but it gets a little bit tricky, although you never know. Daniel keeps his eye on everything, so we'll wait and see what's going on. I think Michelle Phillips won a race. I'm trying to see a couple of the winners early on there, but there was a couple. Definitely a couple of good wins. We will talk about the Inter-Dominion, and I want people, especially like the likes of, a lot of the people that have been around and been to a lot of these Inter-Dominions over the journey. Alex Hurley's got some great memories of South Australian and all the rest. I've been to Western Australia. Gets spoken about Inter-Dominion series and how they are, and every other year you hear, they're not as good as it's an ordinary year and all the rest. The build-up to this Inter-Dominion, I reckon, was ordinary. I think it could have been so much better as far as their publicity and their promotion and how they went about it. Hadn't it been a ripping series?
It has, particularly the trotting series. It's probably been the most, compelling series that we've seen. Certainly, there's no absolute champion standout in the series, but that hasn't detracted from the fact that it's a really competitive series, and certainly there's a number of chances in that race on Saturday night, and the barrier draw certainly made it a bit different. It's from the pacing perspective. Obviously, the McCarthys have dominated the heats of the series with Expensive Ego and King of Swing really taking all before them, and obviously the barrier draws have played an important part with what's potentially going to happen on Saturday night. But even that series, I mean, it's not. Again, it's probably not the halcyon days of where you've got the absolute elite from Australia and New Zealand, but the field that they've got is probably about as good as they were going to get anyway, given the circumstances of what we've got to deal with at the moment. I mean, you probably weren't going to get anything from New Zealand anyway, given the restrictions over there. You can't even get into Perth, so there's no point sort of looking for anyone really coming over from there. So to get the field that they've got, it's probably as good a mix of mainly New South Wales and a few Victorians in there that they could get. And look, it's a final. It's a $500,000 final. Anything could happen. And I think the trick is that because it's over the 3,000 metres, it might just make it a little bit more of a race than we sort of think it might be. It might just be a bit of a parade for the McCarthys. It might not be that simple.
No, on paper it looks like it's going to be a bore fest. The paces and the trotters race looks like it's going to be on for young and old. It may not work out that way. The trotters race, especially like if the penny drops gets up outside Mari Law, there's not going to be a lot of moves in the trotters race for a while. If all that happens, so it could end up being a battle of tactics as to how quickly they trot home. The Pacers race does look like it's going to be a bore fest, with expensive ego potentially hot flying in the front, but there could be moves afoot everywhere in that pacing race.
Yeah, I think so. Because it's the 3,000 metres, I think it just adds a little bit to it. I think there'll be a few that'll be sort of keen to probably make a move early and try and get up on the speed, rather than be left out the back when they really start to ramp it up. It's I just can't see it being a sit up, walk a half in a minute and then sprint home. I just don't think it's going to happen like that. I think they will run along, and Menangle just traditionally does. They do run pretty slick time, but with not enough of those 3,000 metre races run, particularly at Menangle, it will be interesting to see how it plays out. Leading over 3,000 metres at Menangle's probably, if Expensive Ego were happy to do it, it'd be a fair effort to lead all the way in a race like that.
Absolutely, and I think it's the same with the trotting races, and it's just going to be an intriguing race. I'm going to be biased in the trot race, that's for sure, but I'm very proud of my brother and what he's been able to achieve, and I can promise you for that 3Ks I will be holding my breath, holding everything. Don't
ring yet. Don't message or anything.
You can do whatever you like. You can do whatever you like. I can promise you I won't be able to find the phone. The phone's stuck on silent all the time, so that part's fine, and I won't be able to find it because I'll be watching it. But very, very proud. We'll give them one drive by, if I could. Sure. You're right, you're not on camera, just in that bag, Dole, there's a stubby holder. The timing of it, and I've got Cam Bray, one of my New Zealand friends, the other part of it there should be a stubby holder, is there? Is there a stubby holder in there or not? Sorry, Daniel. I might have already got it out, and this is the joys of live. It's not in there. Yeah, that's it. Well done. Marie doesn't want to get on camera, so she stays very stealth, Daniel. She stays way out of things. That's for a little bit later. But what was I talking about? Being superstitious, was I? Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll change the subject because I've lost all. Oh no, that's right. The drive-by for New South Wales.
Yeah.
Sorry, and the New Zealanders. The timing of their races is atrocious. 10:30 at night for the last race. That's 12:30 for the New Zealanders. Friday nights, that's possibly acceptable, but on a Wednesday midweek meeting, that hour of the night that's horrendous.
It doesn't appeal to them, to the New Zealanders anyway. I mean, it'd be different if it was the series in Perth. There's not really much you can do about it with the big time difference between New Zealand and Perth. But yeah, when you're on the eastern seaboard, there's no real reason to run it that late at night anyway.
Not midweek. I can understand the Friday night they can say, but the midweek I think was terrible. The Sky Central coverage has been terrific, but surely they can fix their audio issues. I live stream, and I'm reasonably confident that Molly Haynes and Troy Harley would be throwing things at me the second day, let alone the third day. I'm tipping if things go wrong on Saturday night, there's going to be a lot of heads to roll, because that is a little bit unexcusable, the poor audio.
Yeah, I have some contacts who deal with those sort of things, audio and visual for events and things like that, and happen to know a little bit about it and a little bit about those that are involved. And it's not a good look, and I've had plenty of feedback about how poor it is and how disappointing it is for the biggest race series that we have in the sport to get that sort of that level of coverage and errors and things like that. It's just disappointing. you would be 100% certain that they will have it fixed for the grand final night. I think they would have been wrapped over the knuckles pretty hard by the powers that be over the last few days.
The only problem is they did do a Facebook Live prior as well as a test pilot, and they had the audio issues with that. So they haven't fixed them totally. And I know the person you're talking to. We both know things happen. There is no worries there at all. Things do happen. We did the Cranbourne Greyhounds. I did the live coverage there, and we had issues, but we were able to work around it and still get the coverage out and still get the audio. You can have issues. It just seems inexcusable, some of the mistakes that they are making. That it just, I don't understand it. So
particularly given the quality of the service that Sky and that gets put out, like the racing coverage that gets put out for the gallops and and the dogs and so forth. I mean, it's usually of a really top quality. It's a top quality product that gets given out. What was given out then was just not good enough, and they need to fix it.
Yeah, and I will say one other thing too with a lot of these things, and I'm sure the man you're talking to, you pay a price. The price they would be paying for that would be a premium. You have to deliver a premium product. There's no ifs and buts. Yours and my audio breaks up every now and then with this. Campbell's Comments has got some great sponsors, but at the end of the day, you and I do this as a bit of fun and a bit of enjoyment. So it does happen. I'm sure most of the people here that are watching us on Facebook Live and on YouTube, although they probably want 100% of audio, they live with it because they know we are just trying to, raise.
And you've got as good a quality equipment as you can use. It's not like you're using El Cheapo stuff. So, and these things sort of happen. But when you're dealing with media stuff like what is getting produced and the high level that it needs to be. It does come down to equipment, and if you're using poor equipment, well, you're going to get poor coverage, unfortunately.
Absolutely, and if you're wondering what's going on with Daniel, we had to go back to a Zoom. Oh, the dogs are back, Daniel.
I'm the only one home at the moment, so they've been coming up to me, and I think someone's just made some noise outside, so they've gone to investigate for me.
If you have to go, you tell me. It's fine. I can work around it. But we are back on a Zoom because the other setup that I had, which works a lot better, that's where Daniel's just breaking up a little bit. It's a bit of a common occurrence with the Zoom. Do you have to go?
Hey?
Do you have to go?
No. The dogs have just raced outside through the back door, so they'll be right. I think that's like the cat or something. I don't know. It's all right.
That'll be right. The cat's up the tree. Friday night at Bendigo, I'm doing Trots Vision with Kirsten Graham. Huge card, great night of racing, isn't it? And there's some, it's in honour of the Langs, both Gavin and Graham. Some ripping names of horses. There's a True Roman. There's something about Mari. The Penny Drops. How do I go? There's one other horse there that's named after
Scotch Notch, Wagon Apollo, Save Our Pennies. Awesome. Awesome to have those races named after those horses, and obviously the two features, the Group 3 mile races for the 2-year-olds.
Super night of racing too. Going to be very competitive racing, some great races. Plymouth Chubb steps out. Courage Stride takes him on again. That's a good race, race 6.
Yeah, it's disappointing there's only 6 in it, but I guess it's interesting where this race is plonked in the calendar with the Vic Bred basically I think next week or like 10 days away.
With the trotters it's midweek, so it'll be 10 days after this, so they'll still be okay.
Yeah, so it's not too bad, but I mean if you thought that there was going to be any you're going to get a full field, there's a few that are probably just going to stick at home. They probably would have seen Plymouth Chubb in and thought, well, we might just avoid him for this one and wait till the Vic Bred heats. But look, it's a good race, even still. Courage Stride and Plymouth Chubb are certainly the two standouts there. Kiang Chucky's obviously the other one from the pole draw. It will be an interesting race. It'll be interesting to see what time they go as well.
Alex Hurley has told me she's hoping for a Nightingale Stride treble. Now, I know her horse is in, because I think it was in...
Nightingale Stride's the mother of Courage Stride.
So, is it really?
Yeah.
So is that the mother of Tiara Stride as well?
I'm just doing a bit of clicking here.
Come on,
to
Alex.
find out.
You can beat. So there must be 3 horses.
Yeah. So Tiara. Yeah. So Nightingale Stride is the mother of Tiara Stride, Monarch Stride, and Courage Stride.
So Monarch Stride must be there. It is there, race 6 in the 3-year-old as well. Well, wouldn't that be a feat, Daniel? Daniel's gone and left me for a minute. Oh, he's just shut the door. Yes, he hasn't left me. He's just got to shut the door. Well, that's going to be a good feat. It'll be a hard feat because there is some pretty competitive racing. I'm trying to find what race Tiara Stride is in because I saw it.
It was the one that won at Kilmore.
Yep, but I think it's in at Bendigo.
Is it?
Yeah, and I think it drew terrible. From memory, I'm just trying to find the race as I go backwards and forwards. People are probably trying to just watch one horse, and I'm just scrolling backwards and forwards. I'm sure it was in. Maybe. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, it's in race 1. Yeah, drawn 7. Yeah. So I was right about it drawing terrible. So, yeah, but good racing. Plenty of competitive racing. The 2-year-old trotting fillies is a good race. Just a bit touchy. Like Revelstoke won the Silver Series there at Bendigo the other night. Sting of a Wasp is going terrific. Son of King Van Avenger. So it's a really, really nice racing, I think, and going to be some very competitive racing, and I'm looking forward to it. Actually, that's a race. The Wagon Polo 3-year-old trotting, that's a ripping race, isn't it?
It's probably the race of the night, to be fair. It's a cracking race. And there's probably a few on that front line that'll be wanting to sort of push the button early and try and get a position. You've got Parisian Artiste drawn the outside of that front line, so it'll want to be going forward. So there could be a few. It could be a sharp first quarter, particularly when I think it's not a real long run into that first turn, particularly over the mile start as opposed to the little bit further than a mile.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is a tricky race, but it's a great night of racing, great night of trotters going around, and there's going to be plenty. Going around. Yep, Alex Early. We're quicker than you though, Alex. We got the answers before you gave us the feedback on the things where I'm going. Matt Leppard's watching, the big cat. He might want his own show. He does a little bit of form tipping and that, but he's also a not Riverina. He's a Golden Valley boy as well. So welcome, Matt, to the coverage, and anyone else that's watching too. We, as I said, we just have a little bit of fun. What are you looking forward to most for the weekend, Daniel?
Look, that meeting Friday night really kicks it off. I'm really impressed with that group of racing, particularly the 3-year-old trot races. I'm really looking forward to those. Saturday night, the Gordon Rothicker Championship is a pretty intriguing race, given how the heats sort of played out. Springing Step was, as long as it hasn't flattened it, which 7-day back up after a run like that, I don't think it will. I think he always seems to race best fresh. He always puts in some really good performances fresh. He gets a better draw in barrier 3. Look, he's going to be really hard to beat. I reckon the old boss's horses a rough chance of running a place 60. He was knocked over last week. He's actually going better than his form suggests. He's had terrible draws, but he gets and he's got another one on Saturday night. But if he could sort of find a spot somewhere, he could run in the top 4. But it's a good race for that 70 to 79 bracket. But that run last week from Springing Step was just ridiculous. I didn't think he could win. I just didn't think he had I thought he had to drop off at about the 400 or the 300, but he just didn't. He kept going. Yeah,
no, that's exactly right. He went terrific. Russell Jack's team is going terrific. He had a good winner at Gumbow the other day as well, so it's another stable. Hi,
my name is Jeff. It had trialled really nicely a couple of times at Shep, and then I went to Cobram and was a pretty short price favourite and galloped hopelessly at the start, and he's obviously got a few quirks, but that was a really good win there at Gumbow on Sunday.
We had a horse today. I think my name is Graham, and we also had my name is Ruby going around as well. So we might delve into that a little bit further.
Well, there's two with Jeff. There's Hi, my name is Jeff, which is the one that Jacks have got, and the other one is I think it's My Name is Jeff.
Yeah.
Which is the Matty Craven, I think's got it for David Lewis. I think owns. I think from memory. Forgive me if I'm wrong there, but there's two very, very similar names, and I reckon they're pretty well similar grades as well. So if they ever race, I hope I'm not calling.
It'd be a great one for Dan Malecki. He would have a lot of fun with that as he goes through the call. Yeah, there was my name is Graham in today, and my name is Rudy. I'm sure they both race today as well. So we might be one of our little.
I think there's a few of them running around actually.
There is indeed. Now, one thing you said there before about Matt Craven and Dave McFadden, who watches us quite regularly. I'm not sure if he's watching us tonight or not. He actually sent me a message. So one of the things we're just talking there before about the Inter-Dominion and the job that a lot of people are doing. Dave McFadden owns a small share in the other horse of Matt Craven's, not Pink Galahs. The name's just escaped me just by Muscle Hill. Lots of muscle.
Lots of muscle, yeah.
Yep. I hate how that does it. My brain, I just lose things. It was there for a while and just floated off and it come back. And he's saying there that you can get between 1 and 5% shares in those horses. So Matty Cave, and well done to him. He's got a heap of people in that horse with got very, very small shares. They're having a lot of fun. I don't know if they're going to the Inter-Dominion, but if they are, good luck to them. He's a chance. He was clearly, I said to Sophie today when she won the last race with Horticam, possibly showing the signs of a tough series, and she said, yeah, he just battled the other night, but if he can bounce back before Saturday, he's going to be a live chance as well.
Yeah, the Trotters final Saturday night. I mean, the market suggests that it is open because it's $4.60 the field. Pink Galahs and the Penny Drops both equal favourites, and you've got $4.80 Majestic Man, $5.50 Maori Law, and then $9 for Tough Monarch. It's a cracking race just in terms of a betting proposition. It's so even, and it will depend on what happens in the early part, who finds the best position. But look, I mean, if the Penny Drops happen to win it, they will drink every can of beer in stall for the next 2 months probably. And probably Great Western as well. But look, it's a revelation. It's seriously one of the most incredible things for a horse like him. I know he has raced against really good horses as a 4-year-old, and then he's won the country cups. But to think that he could win the Inter-Dominion, 6 or 8 weeks ago, I mean, it's a big pipe dream. But now it looks like it potentially could be a reality.
What about making the Inter-Dominion final? You don't even have to worry about winning it. Like just making it 6 weeks ago. Yeah. It wouldn't have been happened. Alex Early, she's the lady everywhere. My name is Jeff. He's from 22 Jump Street. Now, fair dinkum, Alex. One, you're showing your age and your taste in shows. Fair dinkum. I mean, I'm not even going there with that. I'm happy to leave that one alone. I'm not going onto the YouTube link, but there's obviously some link to that there.
I'm not sure. That wasn't my. I reckon it was very young. I can remember it, but I don't think I ever watched it.
No, me either. I don't get that. We've got Mick Barbie. He's watching it as well. Philip Wood is watching from Hamilton. He's a border hopper, Philip. South Australia got a few things going on. And yes, Philip, I will get to it. We will get some stuff done. But we'll say there about the Inter-Dominion, the Trotter series. We've spoken about the Penny Drops. I did an interview with John Campbell. A lot gets said about his breeding. A lot of people say that he's not that well bred. He is enormously well bred. There's just 2 generations, and Pat Driscoll told me that happens a lot in good families. You go back to his 3rd dam, and we've got 2 horses here, Mazakine and E.B. Mack are out of that family, but there's Brunelleschi. There's that much black type. It's not funny. It is a ripping family, and then it goes back to Tuft over into the New Zealanders and the Kiwis. It's a lot of their foundation lines as well. So it's got some of the best foundations. That's where he gets his strength from. Danny Boucher is doing a great job. He's by Sundown, out of Amari's Idol family mare. So it's just got all the ticks in it. It is a ripping family. But the other one is Maori Law as well, that we must give a big shout out to Emmett Bronson and his father. That's going to be a great story if he happens to get up. But just getting him back to the races, like I remember when it was at Ballarat and the likes. What was that? The last one we had here would be 4 years ago, possibly 3 years ago anyway. And Jody Jamison drove him. and it just did not go to plan over here at all for him in that series, and he was probably lost in the wilderness. He's flying and absolutely flying over there now for them.
He is, and it is really good to see, and like to win that heat the other night. He was second at Bathurst, and he was fifth in the first heat, so he's improved as the series has gone on, and he's another one that's probably going to really lap up the 3,000 metres. It's great to see, and it would be quite remarkable if he was to win it as well. As I think there's going to be a lot of remarkable stories on whoever wins the race on Saturday night.
Dave McFadden just joined in then, so well done to you guys, Dave. Everyone involved with Matty Craven with a lot of muscle. He's got a bit of both. He's got a heap of people in one, and then he's got the Blue Bloods in the other with Pink Galahs. The other man that came in just then, Greg Norman. I reckon the way he's going, he's wishing he had took Blue Coman up there to the into the Dominion, but it was a good win the other day at Gumbauer too. So well done to you, Greg. We haven't had our regular Charltonite send anything through for a while. She's gone a bit slow. She might be on the Christmas break.
Could be on Christmas break. Yes, I did see the video of their Christmas party. Maybe they're still on that party at the moment.
I saw one Kieran Isles sort of hackling around the back of that, and I happened to take him to Gumbauer the other day, so he has a lot of fun. K Isles, don't you worry about that. I don't think we've got too much else. I've got to make sure I put that into the right part. Actually, what I will do is I'll go this way. I'll whack this one up, and the pacing for Pink is up and going again. It's going to be in May this year. That's confusing me because I can't quite get it straight. The stubby holders are out. Donna Castles and Stacey Towers have them. $10 a stubby holder. You know where they're going. You know they're going for a great cause. So get involved. If you want, get in touch with either Donna or Stace. Shepparton Harness Racing Club, I reckon, just annoy Macca. Macca likes people annoying him, so just give Macca an annoying phone call and get involved. We'll be doing a lot for those. That's coming up in May. May the 8th is the main race day at Shepparton Harness Racing Club. There is a lot of things planned for that day, and it is just getting bigger and bigger. She unfortunately told me that there was more things to raffle, Daniel. I won't be able to talk after that day if she's got more things to raffle.
Raffle will take longer than the race, mate.
I got no chance. I don't know how many things we raffled last year, but it was just amazing. So which is really, really good that that they're getting involved with that. That's about all I've got to go with. 22 Jump Street is the modern remake. 21 Jump Street is the old school version.
Confusing the hell out of us.
I got no idea. I didn't watch the first or the second episode, and I don't reckon I'm on my own, Alex. I think you're in all sorts of trouble there. I can't wait to see her at Bendigo. She'll be there with Tiara Stride. Don't you worry about that. That's about all I've got. Have you got anything else, mate?
No, just look. That Inter Dominion, the pace is fine. Look, we mentioned that it's King of Swing and Expensive Ego are probably going to be the two hardest to beat. But look, Akey's horses, I think, have gone pretty well during the series. Up Malcolm's Rhythm and Max Delight have both acquitted themselves pretty well. They get to the right sort of run. And the other one that I think has probably surprised a lot of people is Bonsell Benjamin, still owned by Julie Duffy, according to the harness website. And look, she'll be if she's going up, and if he happened to win it, I'd hear her from here. He's an amazing horse. He won 205,000, and I think they had a lot of trouble with him, sort of keeping him sort of sound. But he's always shown great gate speed, and he's really developed into a serious free-for-all horse. And it's good to see. And I hope he runs a really good race there on Saturday as well. Yeah, no, I think he can. The two Aiken horses, well done to you. Look at you go. Woodlands Products, Better's Delight, both of those two. And Triple Eight, who is also by American Ideal, who is fully booked. Lee Sutton climbs in. King of Swing just wins. He probably does, Lee. I'm just trying to avoid saying that, but it's he probably does have a mortgage on it, but we've got to try and find some value somewhere.
The Greyhound boys have joined us. Sean Colson's in. He's a bit of a fence jumper. Now Clint Anderson, who's the photographer. I can see you have spared no expense with your Christmas tree, haven't you? I think he's having a bit of a drive-by at that. Clint, my daughter set my tree up, mate. We'll make you feel bad for 2 seconds and go from there. And Peter Ramiro agrees with, I think, all of us with King of Swing. I think he's just in beast mode, and yeah, he's just a lovely horse, and I wear a lot of hats. I can get this one on, that's for sure. That's his Brecon Farms, mate. That's where King of Swing came from, and I'm sure that they are very upset that they can't get across here, the Brecon family. And it's unfortunate for harness racing we can't get the New Zealanders over here, but yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun watching anyway. Sit back and watch it, so it'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, it is going to be a good night. There's some really good races on that card. The only one I can't work out for the life of me, I don't like whether it was whether there was clauses with the race, the last race on the night, which is the trotting free for all. How the hell did Wobbly not get a start?
So it might have been the consolation, is it?
No, it's not the consolation. It's just a free for all. I just can't work out how it didn't get a run.
So
it's emergency. I'd love to know how it didn't get a start ahead of a horse like Indefensible and Gil Favour, who was 68 raters. It's a free-for-all, and Wobbly's 115 rater and couldn't get a run.
Gil Favour contested the Inter-Dominion, so that might be why he did.
That's what I'm thinking, that it's possibly that, but it just seems a little bit odd, that's all.
What can happen over here too is that, Julie, we'll get to your comment in a minute, Dan, so well done there. I think they actually, while we got Julie on, I think it was their wedding anniversary either today or yesterday, so congratulations to both her and Stephen too. I think it was only their second wedding anniversary, might have been their third, but we won't go too far with that. But if you nominate a horse after acceptance time here, so if noms close, yeah, doesn't matter on where their points are, they get a run before a horse late noms.
Correct, that's right. I just look weird, that's all. And there's probably a simple explanation for it, and yours might be the right one, or it might be that, yeah, that if you had to be, there's preference given to those that were in the Inter-Dominion. I'm not too sure, but it just seemed a little bit odd that the highest rated horse in the race couldn't get a start.
But they've got a consolation for the trot. There's no way they would have
filled through. No, they haven't. No, there's not one on the card by the. I was looking for that myself, but there wasn't.
Oh, that's possibly why. So it's possibly all the runners in that, yeah, and then him. So we went from there.
I reckon there's a simple explanation, but you just never know.
Terry French is watching. When Terry French is watching us, he's sitting back in his spa, drinking his cans and enjoying himself. After Gunbower, he got a double, so he'll be okay, Terry French. And Julie Duffy says, "Thanks, Dan. You saying I'm loud?
Yes, I am.
Of course,
I am.
Of course, I still own him, and yes, you will hear me from now on. Julie, you just got us barracking for Bonsell Benjamin. Don't you worry about that. If it's a line ball between King of Swing and Bonsell Benjamin, Julie, we're screaming for you because, yeah, we've got a barrack for everyone that we know. And good luck to both you and Stephen. And, yeah, hopefully he can get the chockies.
I'm sure he'll come out full speed ahead at the start and try and take up the lead. That's his best chance, and then take cover, and I hope he can split the gaps at the finish. But yeah, it would be a remarkable victory if he got up.
It would be indeed, but yeah, you're allowed to dream, Jules. Don't you worry about that. Yeah, you are hoping so, and we will be too. That is for sure. I don't know what else I've got, Daniel. We're more than happy for people to get involved in the conversation. We've had someone send through a laughing face. I don't know who that was, but that's okay. Those things definitely happen and go from there. But we'll be back next week. That's for sure. I will be. Will you be?
Yeah, I'm calling Wednesday, but we'll work something out. I'm in Bendigo Wednesday, so we'll work something out. Well, just the other race meeting, obviously across the weekends, the Stall Cup on Sunday. Small field, big stakes though, 45,000 for the cups. A good prize money there. You've got Rick Riley coming off the Gunbower Cup. Our Millionaire, Yorkshire for Sean McNulty, Bulletproof Boy, Perfect Stride, and Better Bid the Bomb. It's a small field, but it's a pretty good race.
It is, and they've got a good card. And we must mention that day on Trots Vision, I got a little bit of a soft spot for it as well. But Stall Cup, I think the last race on Stall Cup day is 4 minutes past 5. Trots Vision then will roll into a half-hour hero special, which will feature my daughter, so hence the reason that I know is on there. They've done a special with my daughter, but they've also caught up with Dexter Dunn, and I encourage everyone to watch this because of what he's been able to do, catching up with his old mate Chris and me over there in North America. So it's very, very good. And then the inductees to the Living Legends in harness racing will be on after that with Andrew Bensley. Now, I've been speaking to Noel Ridge, and he did a bit of a Goma pile. Surprise, surprise, surprise. There's a couple of inductees that are going to be a little bit different in it as well. So it's going to be a big night on Trots Vision. So start watching Trots Vision from the first at Stall. Afterwards, you'll get the Hero video. Then you'll get the Hall of Fame. Then they'll go back to the Hero video and then the Hall of Fame as well. So if you miss them, you get the chance to just keep following up. But there's getting more and more and going from there. And as I said, I'm doing it Friday night with Kirsten Graham. Full coverage Saturday night. Then Rob Orber and Luke Humphries are doing Sunday at there. Myself and Toby McKinnon had a full show on today. So hopefully with Trots Vision, it's going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and more and more people getting noticed, which is what we want. We all lose track of where we are sometimes, and we all want to know that Julie Duffy's got a runner in the Inter Dominion officially, and we're all going to barrack for her. Half a Shepparton, so there'll be, and I believe they'll be having an open bar if he gets up.
You said that, not me. I'm not getting the blame for it.
It's okay. I don't drink, Julie, so you can
I know you don't.
You can shout me everything you want, so it'll be sweet. So won't be a hassle. I think I just broke my chair. If that ain't a sign. No, it actually feels better now. It might have just clicked something in the right place. Righto, Daniel. That's it. I'm going to call it a day. But thank you very much for joining me, mate, and thank you to all our listeners and viewers. We really appreciate it. We love people getting involved, and we'll be back next Wednesday, hopefully at 7 o'clock. We'll see what happens, and we might be on location. We'll just wait and see how we go. But thank you very much, Daniel Hibberd.
Thanks, mate.